Okay, so here I am again on the right bank of the Dodder, and I'm at a spot that I showed you a couple of weeks ago where there's a lot of rubbish, and I just get so annoyed when I see the amount of rubbish that people dump in the river without any thought for other people, and more importantly without any thought for the animals that use the river for their various purposes. But the reason I'm back here today is because I'm going to introduce you to a guy that I've mentioned before, John Kybert from Tallaght Litter Mugs. Now, litter mugs, and I'm going to let John explain more of this in a couple of minutes, basically is a cleanup group, all volunteers. How the name came about and everything else I'll let John explain, but before I do, I just want to say that this group has expanded big time in the last couple of years. There's another group called Dodder Action, and they get together with the litter mugs on a regular basis, and members of both of those groups have now formed other groups from that, and there are litter mugs groups in various places, not only around Tallaght but on different locations right along the Dodder. It started off basically just to clean up the parks, but now the river is probably even more importantly being taken care of by litter mugs. So I'm going to go a little bit further downriver, and we purposely stopped at this spot because there is a lot of heavy rubbish in this river. There's actually a couple of shopping trolleys. Now, why people would bring their shopping trolley and drop it in the river, I have no idea. The mentality of that, it's beyond my comprehension. Sorry about that, folks, but I just don't understand it. But there's also a huge 15 or 16 foot length of plastic or rubber piping in the river here as well. But anyway, I'm going to introduce you to John, let him tell you about litter mugs, and then I'll show you those couple of bits of heavy litter. Bear with me a second while I just walk down this way. Now I'm coming out right on the edge of the bank. In actual fact, I'm going to walk as close to the river as I can get. I'm going to swing the camera around for a second, and you're going to see John in the background. Here we go, and there's John there, and I'm just going to turn the camera a tiny bit more so that you can see the rubbish that's in the river here at this particular spot. And as I said, there's a big piece of plastic or rubber piping, I'm not sure what it's made of. I'll just see that first, and a shopping trolley. So here you go, have a look at that. I mean, that's just crazy. Why would you drop stuff like that in the river? Well, there you go, folks, 2 shopping trolleys. I really don't understand that. And as I turn the camera, you can now see that at least 15 feet of plastic, or is it plastic or rubber? I'm not too sure. But when John gets in there to check it out, we'll know. But he's not going to do the clearing out today, folks, because it's going to take a couple of people, a nice little group of litter mugs, to come along and do this. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera right around, and John is going to talk to us. And he's going to come down by the river here, and he's going to tell me all about litter mugs. John, just tell me basically what litter mugs is about, how it started, and what's your involvement in it.
Okay, well, litter mugs is a group of kind of like-minded individuals who just want to improve the environment by simply picking litter, other people's litter. It started 5 or 6 years ago. Started by a small group of people that I spotted in the park one day, who were actually out there just picking litter, and it's something that I'd been inclined to get involved with, but I hadn't seen anybody acting in an organised way. So I joined the group, and I've been with them ever since. And our main focus of operation is in Sean Walsh Park, which is the central park in Tallaght. And since we've got involved, we started out with numbers of maybe, on average maybe 8 out on a Saturday once a month, and now we've had as many as 45 out. It may have been actually slightly more. I think I missed a couple of people. We don't get that many every time, but we get good numbers, approaching 20 on a regular basis now, and the park is certainly showing the benefit of that. Since we started, it's got achieved green flag status.
So, John, how did you switch from cleaning up the park to spending your time and cleaning up the Dodder?
But that comes from our connection with another group who are called Dodder Action Group, who focus mainly on the Dodder and its tributaries, because what starts off as litter in kind of areas like this ultimately finds its way into the river, and the river is a brilliant delivery system for getting rid of litter out of our environment and into the seas and the oceans. So Dodder Action is all about trying to clean up the river and its tributaries. So we've got involved with them, they get involved with us, and we cooperate largely around the waterway systems in the Tallaght area.
Am I correct in saying also, John, that smaller groups have evolved from the main Litter Mugs group?
Yeah, I've been trying to encourage groups to kind of take a patch of area, not necessarily near water, not necessarily in a park, but just take ownership for an area near where they live and organise themselves and get out and do regular cleanups. So there's one down at Fir House at the Balrother Weir. There's another one set up in Dodder Valley Park. There's one set up in Springfield, which is basically a housing estate. So we're just trying to spread the word as much as possible.
Okay, so I'm just about to approach John again, and he's going to talk a little bit about the Dodder and its importance not only to Tallaght but to Dublin as a whole. Go ahead, John.
Well, the Dodder is a fantastic amenity, as you say, not just to Tallaght. I mean, it's got a very, very rich history in terms of all the mills that were on the Dodder going back up and towards Tallaght. But it starts up in the mountains, in beautiful area like Glenmesmole, but it works it all the way down to the Aviva Stadium, down into the Irish Sea. I mean, a fantastic city river with teeming with wildlife, including otters, kingfishers, dippers, cormorants, herons. It's just unbelievable amenity to have right on your doorstep in a city environment.
There's no doubt about it. John is absolutely right. The Dodder truly is a fantastic amenity, a city river with all the species he's just mentioned and many more besides. So I'll leave you today to enjoy a selection of some of these. But before I do, I have to say a final thanks, not only to John but to all of those who volunteer with Litter Mugs, Dodder Action and all of the other volunteer groups. Groups of people, unpaid by the way, just volunteers who come out to make the environment a better place for all of us, even those who seek to destroy it with their rubbish. Well, thanks again for watching Wildlife Wednesday, folks. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and if you did, I'd be grateful if you'd give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And when you do, don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. If you'd like to buy a copy of my safari book From Sunrise to Sunset, just follow the link below the video. Till next week, stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands and wear a mask where necessary, while continuing to maintain social distancing, because we're not quite out of the woods yet. Even me. Take care, folks. Bye.